Hey everybody, it's your boy PB back with another video. Today I have my earbuds in. I was just playing video games, and I use earbuds for my video games. So yeah, I don't. Ever since like I've been growing out my hair, the indents have been bugging me. Indents have bugged me for a long time, but I'm tired of the indent, so I got earbuds. Anyways, the point of this video is to be talking about a new manhwa. It's called Substitute Hero. Essentially, our main character is summoned to this world in order to save it. However, there's a lot of those transmigrating being summoned to the another world type of comic. This one's a little different. The art's also a little different. And what I mean by that is that our main character, the story starts out with him being yelled at by his boss. He's an ordinary office worker. However, despite being terrible at his job and always getting yelled at, he basically feels like his life is so bland. It's not good. He's tired of living the life that he lives. We find out that he essentially has the same name as the like number one martial artist in like Korea, or like the strongest. Essentially, they have the exact same name. And he talks about how he practiced the taekwondo when he was a kid. He ends up stubbing his toe and yada yada yada. However, he gets to the point where he's like, how can people with the same exact name live such different lives? Um, and then he goes to sleep. However, he wakes up summoned to this other world. As I said, the art is a little different. It's not anything like I'm used to. When I first like opened this comic and started reading it, I noticed just how different the art can be, especially with like the character designs, and like just this panel in itself is completely different than a lot of comics I've read art wise. But it starts out with this person here basically telling the hero, or like our main character, that he was summoned here, acting all like happy, and whatnot, right? Um, Anyhow, he gets summoned, and he gets this whole description of the heroes are getting summoned to this world to fight against the Demon King. They summon people from multiple different worlds, basically the strongest from their worlds. As you see, these are some of like the previous people that were summoned. And as they talk about how the strongest person in his world, the martial art of taekwondo, the hero, then his name. However, as we said, he has the same name as that person, but he got summoned instead of that person. And he decides, I'm tired of living my boring, unfulfilling life. So instead of admitting that I'm a pathetic loser and I can't do anything, he says, I'll save this place. And everybody seems happy, wants to celebrate, and he basically tells himself that it'll all work out somehow. And well, at the start, it really does, because not long after he basically tells himself that, this person appears basically out of nowhere, asking if he's the hero that was summoned. Basically, pits him one on one against this like monster. He's like, "What the hell is this?" Yada yada yada. And after coming face to face with it, he's like, "Sure, I have some kind of special power." And he basically gets attacked by the monster, basically almost killing him. And typical comic fashion, he's about to die. However, he gets magically powered up on the verge of death, and he ends up just kicking this monster extremely hard, basically one hitting it, killing it, and like eradicating it essentially. And so, he's like, is that enough to prove me as a hero? But what I don't get is, obviously this is only the first chapter, and I don't know, like, we don't get a lot of backstory right away. Although this person is like somewhat convinced. At the end of the chapter, though, we have the person who summoned him, who seemed all like cheery and happy to have summoned him. After he defeats this monster, looks like, what the heck, like, like something's wrong. I don't know if she knows that he might not be the right one, or if she suspects him of being a fake. But it's just, you go from being happy and jolly that you summon this person, to watching him kill a monster and being upset about it. Kind of, it seems just a little weird that the person who's supposed to be happy about him being strong seems to be kind of like upset and whatnot. But as I said, the art is a little different. It's not like your ultra polished HD looking art in a lot of comics. It's not like, like it's pretty rigid, I would say, which adds to the like realness of it, I guess. But it is very different kind of art style. If you know, I know some people who aren't going to like this art style. I personally don't mind it. You know, it's a nice change of pace. That's essentially what this comic is. It's a main character who's a normal office worker who learned Taekwondo as a child, being transmigrated into this world to defeat a demon king in place of the actual person with like martial arts skills. Uh, you know, and basically trying to survive living this lie and acting like everything's okay when you know it might not be. Who knows? But yeah, that's all I really wanted to talk about today. If you guys like, leave a sub. I'll just see more of you guys in the future. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.